What's happening, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It's Wednesday, of course, new review day here on the channel. For this episode, we're going to take a look at the brand new album. It's a revisit to a theme from this American blues rock guitar player. It's Joe Bonamassa's Blues Deluxe Volume 2. Hard to believe it's been like 20 years since Blues Deluxe, the first, right? The first volume here, which basically at the time was basically Joe putting out an album because the record label was kind of sweating him, saying, we need something that's going to, sell some copies here. So basically what he did was he did a whole bunch of really ripping covers of classic songs from his heroes, right? That's kind of what Blues Deluxe was all about. That took the blues and the blues rock world by storm, and Joe Bonamassa kind of became a household name ever since. So in all the years since, he has, moved into doing much, much more of his own material, released a lot of albums, a lot of live albums, tons of tours, worked with Black Country Communion. I mean, Joe Bonamassa has been everywhere ever since. But he decided all these years later here in 2023 to kind of go back and revisit, like kind of covering some of his heroes. So that is Blues Deluxe Volume 2. So let's take a look at the digipack here. Of course, this is on J&R Adventures Music, a division, I believe, of Mascot Records, right? So here we got a little bit of explanation here, right? It starts off saying, well, if you had told me 20 years ago my career would last long enough to see the 20th anniversary of this little record called Blues Deluxe, I'm sure I would have laughed. So again, he talks about the whole story of how almost being dropped by the label and puts out Blues Deluxe in 2003 and how little it cost to make and how it really exploded and so on and so forth. So here, and then he talks a little bit about, them being 26 years old, now being 46, and how things have changed and whatnot, and, to enjoy the record, so on and so forth. So, and take a little bit of look here. Pop the CD out, right? There you go. Got his Les Paul guitar right there. Very cool stuff. And the booklet. So here you get some pics in the studio. You get the lyrics to the songs, who wrote them, who originally recorded them, which I will go into in a minute. More studio shots. And then, of course, everybody who plays on the album. So, playing on the album is... Dun, dun, dun. We've got Joe on vocals and lead guitar. You got Josh Smith on rhythm guitar, Calvin Turner bass, Lamar Carter drums, Reese Winans on keyboards, and Hammond B3, of course, from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. Steve Patrick and Jeff Bailey on trumpet, Jimmy Bolin, sax, flute, alto flute, Mark Duthit on sax, Barry Breen on trombone, Matt Jefferson, bass trombone, Paulie Serra, saxophone on one song, Calvin Turner, horn and string arrangements, Jade McRae, backing vocals, Danielle DeAndrea, backing vocals, Charles Jones, backing vocals, and Mahalia Barnes on backing vocals, along with a string section on violin, viola, and cello, right? So you got a whole bunch of people there. And as far as produced by Josh Smith, executive producer Roy Weissman. So what we have on here, again, are some old favorites of Joe's done up in his way, right, as he always does. You got 24-Hour Blues, originally performed by Bobby Blue Bland, right, very cool. You got It's Hard But It's Fair, originally performed by Bobby Parker. Well, I've Done Gone Over It, performed by Guitar Slim. You've got I Want to Shout Out About It, originally performed by Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters. Wine-O, originally performed by Pee Wee Creighton. We've got Hope You Realize Goodbye Again, okay, which is a Joe original. You've got Lazy Poker Blues, originally performed by Fleetwood Mac, written by Peter Green and Clifford George Adams, right? So that's an old Fleetwood Mac song. We've got You Sure Drive a Hard Bargain, originally performed by Albert King. And The Truth Hurts, featuring Kirk Fletcher and Josh Smith and a whole bunch of other folks, originally performed by Kenny Neal. And then Is It Safe to Go Home, which is written by producer Josh Smith. That's my favorite song on the album, actually. The very last track. Really good. This is, depending on what you like from Joe, this is pretty much a straight-up blues album. It rocks a bit in spots, but Joe's albums of all original material that he's been releasing, for quite a while now, run the gamut of all sorts of things. Blues and pop, a little bit of soul, some funk, some rock and hard rock right here. This is more centered on straight up blues and blues rock, but it's really well done. It's a rousing affair, you know. You gotta love this type of stuff, right? If you're a fan of blues, you'll dig this album. 24 Hour Blues is really good, upbeat, energetic. Wino is fun. I like the Fleetwood Mac cover. I think it's really good. But like I said, my favorite track on the album is also the longest track on the album, which is the last one. Is It Safe to Go Home? Really moody, cool riffing and soloing. I mean, there's a lot of good guitar solos on here, as you would expect. It's a very solid record from Joe Bonamassa. In my opinion, he never releases a bad album. I love his guitar playing. I like his vocals. His vocals are great on here. It's Hard, But It's Fair, also another good one. Most of the tracks are fairly short, so it's a pretty brief album. Most are in the 2.5 to 4 minute range, most of these tracks, so it goes by very, very quickly. There's only 10 songs, not a long album, but it's a fun album. I think if you dug Blues Deluxe Volume 1, okay, you'll probably like this. There's a lot of guitar on this, but I think there might have been a little more guitar on the first one. I think it was just a little more guitar oriented. Here, he's still trying to do this kind of like band sounding type thing with the blues context, which is fine, okay? But there's plenty of good guitar solos on here, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's fun. Blues Deluxe Volume 2 from Joe Bonamassa, 4 out of 5 star. I mean, generally everything he does to me is at least 3.5, 4 stars out of 5. I mean, that's just Joe. Quality guitar player. Love his vocals. I just really like everything he does, so I dig this one as well. So check it out if you haven't already. If you have, let us know what you think down in the comments below, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to get alerted of all of our content as it posts, and please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page, and I thank you in advance for all your support there. We'll see you soon here with more stuff on the channel. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.